Some attackers third round of the Memorial Emilio Belicer. I won the first two games against low-rated players, and in the third round I faced the international master Vladislav Larkin, who started first of the ranking, who has a 25 of rapid rating. So in the third board I opened with e4, like you are used to open, and he responded with c6. 2 years ago we played a game and he played. I don't remember who made the first move, but he started to move like all the pawns, and he played g6, and I don't know what I do, a6, and he started to make all the fucking pawns, b5, bishop b7. I don't remember what I do, but he moved all the fucking pawns. But okay, this time he played more normal. He just go with c6 before, and now the Caro-Kann. Nice. Okay, in the last tournament I was playing more d5, but this day and I was playing against the Caro-Kann so much knight c3 and knight f3 too. But in this game I decided to go for the classic variation. So that's the main line for all the life against the Caro-Kann. Now here d takes, knight takes, and here black has three main moves: bishop f5, is this line, knight d7 like Karpov, or knight f6, who is the main line. Nowadays everybody is playing knight f6. The majority of my last game with this line, my opponent plays knight f6, knight takes, e takes, c3. That's the normal line. That's the main line of the position. Now some people are playing with bishop e3, so to go long castle. But I don't like here so much Ghost Castle because if you go Castle is to attack your opponent, the Black King in the king side, but Black have 4 pawns in front of his king. I think that is so difficult to attack against 4 pawns. So for that reason, I prefer the knight with just d3, bishop d3, knight d2. That's the main line. I'm not going to pay more attention in the open because there are hundreds of games with this position. Let's see, in this position there are like 100 games with knight d7. Of course, knight d7 was the main move here. Now white can liberate the bishop to d2 or to d3. For example, bishop d2. Yes, or bishop d3 both are normal. Knight f8, then put a rook on e1. Yes, that's the main position. But instead of that, my opponent goes to knight a6, which is common nowadays. The idea is go to c7 and to d5. That's many people nowadays are playing this type of move with knight a6. I faced this move against Enrique Villagra, Chilean Grandmaster, but not in this specific move. Maybe I remember that he made maybe here or here. I don't remember but in what exactly moment, but he once in one moment played knight a6. And I faced knight a6 idea against Torre Rebolledo too in Madrid. But okay, knight a6, now bishop e2 good move, knight c7. And here I should place a rook on e1, sorry, but I select the incorrect rook. Here it was stronger to place the a rook on e1, and we're going to see why. Because, okay, after rook a1, here the best move was 95, of course, that's the black idea, place the knight on d5. If not, have no sense the plan of 96, 97. But here I have the tactic c4, knight b4, of course, that's the only move that can disturb me. And now, piece of a7, king h8, and queen b1. Now here, okay, we are starting to see why the rook is better on e1. Because now, if we play queen b1 with the rook on e1, the rook is trapped on e1. But here have more specific reasons, because after bishop e6, queen e4, f5, we can just take with bishop f5. The huge problem is that if I make the same with the other rook, with rook f1, after knight e5, c4, knight d4, bishop h7, king h8, queen b1, bishop h6, queen e4, but move here, after bishop here, bishop f5, queen f6, and the huge problem is that the knight is coming to c2, making a fork to the rooks. So that's a huge problem of the position and the huge difference that now the knight is coming with a fork to take one rook. So rook a1 was the best move. If, for example, black came with knight d6, here f6, f4 would move, attacking that, followed by f5 was a good idea. With bishop d7, just c4 was fine. And here, if the knight returned to e7, it's clear that here white have the advantage because the knight lost like 4 tempos to just go to e7. So yes, but if the black cannot land on d5 because I have c4 here, it's clear that white is better. Rook f1, knight d5. And okay, c4 was playable too. You can enter in the same line here. You should play b3 instead of queen e4, but c4 is playable. Instead of that, I didn't calculate all of this line, and I just play e3 to prepare c4, b5. Here I remember that some like c4 was possible, but here I don't like so much. I prefer the move b3. Or a4 here was another possibility, but I prefer b3. Just preparing c4. My idea was just play c4 and I just did the knight. Bishop c7 with prophylaxis c4. And here I was thinking that my opponent's idea was queen d6 to enter on f2, but here I have this surprise prepared, knight f2. Very good move. He cannot take here and take because this is checkmate. And yes, if he defend the checkmate, I just have take on d5 the knight. So that's an interesting idea, the knight f4. But no, my opponent, of course, he saw the tactic and he just take here, and he goes back with the knight. And here I was thinking that I had the advantage, but it's true that the absence of these two pawns doesn't benefit me anything. I'm sorry, that's good for black. And yes, here I have no advantage in this position. I have a small advantage, but this is not so huge. Because now yes, I was simply black is simplifying. Now black is going to play d6, king d7, and bishop f8, trading my good bishop, and I have no advantage here. And bishop before to try something was fine. D6, knight c3, and d5. I can try this plan maybe, but I play rook d1 more or less fast, placing the rook into the center. G6, and now again the best plan to try something was bishop before, followed by knight c3 or d5. That was a possibility to try something. Or d5 here was not bad. Instead of that, I play bishop f4, trying to trade my opponent's good bishop for my bad bishop. And he has played bishop a5, and now I again want to play rook f1. Of course, this is a sad move. So I return to d2, and he returned to c7. And here, okay, again, I had bishop before and d5 ideas, but I just didn't see nothing. And we just repeat moves. Because both me and my opponent doesn't find nothing. The machine say that the position is equal, but my opponent say that he doesn't like his position, but the machine say that like it's not bad. And I feel that during the game that white could be slightly better, but I really didn't find any clear plan, and I'm going low I'm decreasing my time, so I just decided to make a draw and still in the battle. So apart in this round, I didn't get tired so much, so. It's fine to make a draw. Of course, with white I always try to win, but okay, doesn't matter if you make a draw with the first of the ranking. So let's see how continue the tournament. Bye bye, motherfuckers.